Good evening and welcome to tonight's experiment, which asks, is it possible to program somebody to kill and without them realizing it? Conspiracy theorists claim that the CIA hypnotized unsuspecting candidates to carry out assassinations in the 50s and 60s, most notably that of Senator Robert Kennedy. Tonight we'll find out if that's even possible or just the stuff of movie fiction.
Oh my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot in the head.
In June 1968, 24-year-old Palestinian refugee Sirhan shot dead presidential candidate Robert Kennedy in a hotel pantry. More than 40 years later, he still claims to have no memory of committing the act.
I don't remember. I must have been too hypnotized, too much out of my senses to really be aware of what happened.
It was obvious that he had been programmed to kill Robert Kennedy and programmed to forget that he'd been programmed.
During tonight's experiment, I'll be testing to see whether such unlikely-sounding claims are actually possible. So, I'm about to give a demonstration of hypnosis to an audience of people who've applied to take part in my show, and I haven't prepared these people in any way. I'm going to show you from scratch how it is that I can create a hypnotic state. But what they don't know is that I'm actually on the lookout for a perfect candidate that I can program to carry out the assassination of a well-known figure at a public event. Now, nothing like this has ever been attempted before. Unless, of course, the claims of the conspiracy theorists are true. Enjoy tonight's experiment. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you all for coming. What's your name? Cara. Stand up for me. Let me take your hands. Just press your palms together like that. And really press them together. And look at me right here. Then I'll just close your eyes for a second. The more you try to unlock your hands when I let go, the more you try to unstick them harder and harder, the more they keep on pressing, just like this. And the more you try now to unstick those hands, Cara, the more they keep on sticking. So what's going through your head? Let me get you a microphone. Thank you. Now, you're fully wide awake.
Yes.
You're not in some weird sort of zombie-like state or whatever people think hypnosis is.
No.
And they're genuinely stuck, aren't they?
Yeah, when I try to move my hands, my arms are just like, nope, not having it. I'm sticking together and I can feel them pushing.
And what's actually happening here, the idea that her hands are stuck, that I've given her, is stronger than her own sense, her own rational sense that she must be able to pull them apart. So how do you clear something like this? Once you've created it, how do you clear it? Well, there's two things. First of all, I won't, but I could tell her that they're cleared. Or, if something else happened that sort of took her mind off it, it wouldn't actually kind of, they'd probably just come apart anyway. Just take a seat for me, Cara. Just want to choose one of you at random. Just take a seat. Want to choose one of you at random. Just, Cara, throw this back and choose someone. They start to come apart. And there they are. Let's move on to looking at the idea of a hypnotic trance. What's your name? John. John, have you come, John? Lovely to meet you. What do you do for a living, John?
IT.
IT. Excellent. Thanks ever so much for coming up. And look at me now. Look at your hand, and you just sleep. And back you go. That's good. And you can just let yourself sink right the way down, and right the way deep, and right the way sound asleep. So it looks very impressive. It's one of the most dramatic demonstrations of hypnosis to be able to hypnotize somebody like that. It's called a snap induction. What's actually happening there is I'm interrupting an automatic process for John. Shaking hands is something you don't think about. It's just this automatic process. And to interrupt somebody in the middle of something that's very automatic is very kind of confusing and bewildering for people. It throws you completely. And at that point, you'll become highly suggestible because you want relief from the confusion. So if you induce that confusion by interrupting an automatic process and then give them a specific piece of information like sleep, not everybody, but most people will absolutely kind of embrace that. So what you've just seen might have looked dramatic, but it was achieved through nothing more than ordinary suggestion. It would be a little impractical to do this with all of you, so with the rest of you, we're going to take it a little bit more slowly. Now, under the 1952 Hypnotism Act, we cannot broadcast the complete process of hypnotic induction in case you, the audience at home, go under and can't be brought out. Close your eyes for me. But I can explain how it's done, and the key to this is relaxation and focus. I'm going to begin by creating tension, so I want you to keep breathing normally, but to tense up. And then relax completely. And as you relax, you'll feel yourself just drifting down into this sleep state. Just my voice just there in the center of your head. As you wonder just how deeply you can sink, and you can drift, and you can float, and right the way down, and right the way deep, and right the way sound asleep. Now that's all I've done. I've just got them very relaxed and focused. But the more suggestible people, when in that state, will begin to respond to my instructions. When your eyes are open, when I've counted you awake, your name will be gone from your mind. Now, I know this sounds odd. I know you know me. I'm Derren, but what's your name? Try and remember. What is it, if you really try?
I'm a million miles away. I got, like, it's just nothing coming out.
Nothing coming out, no. So, let's do this side first. Take a look at me. Take a deep breath in. And then just sleep right the way back down, right the way... They appear to fall asleep because I click my fingers. In reality, the mixture of my confidence and their expectation that that's what they're supposed to do is enough for them to take it as a cue to go back under. You'll find yourself absolutely, rigidly stuck into position. Have you ever had this sort of thing done before?
No.
Have you been hypnotised before? Or...
No, I can't move at all.
First time you've done something like this?
First time, yeah.
And what's it like? What's going on? What's it feel
If
like?
I push at force of 1, it's like it's pushing back at 2.
These tests are helping me whittle down the number of likely candidates for tonight's experiment. Let me keep you, sir, and you. You're going to stay here as well. And finally, I've identified 4 people who I believe will make the most suitable potential assassins. Now we're going to examine what hypnosis can actually do. How far will people go while in a trance? Are they genuinely under some influence or just playing along? We're going to find out with the help of a classic test from the 1950s. And to help me with it is Professor Zoltan Derrens from Sussex University, a leading expert in the field of hypnosis and its impact on the subconscious.
Now the question is, could we make a person do something antisocial or dangerous because we give them a hypnotic suggestion?
And this is the test for that. The acid test, in fact. This chamber contains a foil-wrapped mannequin's head, over which a technician will pour highly dangerous hydrochloric acid. My 4 candidates are kitted out with safety gear and a beaker. I'm going to ask them to throw acid in someone's face. This exercise will show whether hypnosis can make you do things you wouldn't do if you were just playing along. If the subject is playing along, he won't throw the acid and he certainly won't carry out an assassination. Sleep. You can stand and sleep quite comfortably. Sleep. That's very good. Sleep. That's lovely. And sleep. You can stand and sleep quite comfortably. Excellent. Very good. In a little while, when you've woken up, we're going to put some hydrochloric acid in each one of those beakers. In front of you is an individual, a volunteer from the audience, we're going to call your target. And when you're awake, after a little while, you will see a blue and white polka dot handkerchief. As soon as you see the polka dot handkerchief, blue with white polka dots, you will throw your beaker of acid into the face of the target stood opposite you. If that makes sense to you, I want you to nod your head if you understand that, if it makes sense. Excellent. Good. Without the candidate's knowledge, we've switched the acid for water, and they're now awoken. Eyes open, wide awake. Thank you. Lawrence, if you can please take some of the acid and give them each a dose in their beaker. Excellent. Good, excellent. So, Professor, how long have you been working in this field for?
I went to Sydney in the mid-80s for my master's, and there was master's by research. And my research was hypnosis, so that's when
sorry, could you hang on just a second, excuse me. Oh. Excellent. 4 out of 4. All 4 commit a highly dangerous act. Now, I only need 2 of them, so I've decided to continue with Alex and Chris. What happened?
Yeah, I just kind of instinctively did it.
I just had the impulse to throw it in his face.
Next, they'll have to undergo a potentially lethal test to determine who will become my unwitting killer. Tonight's experiment is to see whether it's possible to hypnotize somebody and turn them into an assassin. Now, if it is possible, and if it happens, the assassination will occur at a public event where our target, a well-known figure, will be delivering a talk to a packed theatre. So I'm on the lookout for a perfect hypnotic subject to program. The tests that I've done so far have shown me who in this audience is the most prone to hypnosis, and I've narrowed it down to the two people who I think are the most likely trainee killers, although Chris and Alex have no idea what the ultimate aim of this experiment is. The final candidates are about to be put through a challenge that could seriously affect their health, the ice plunge test, overseen by Dr. Stuart Derbyshire, Director of Pain Imaging at Birmingham University.
So hypnosis can be used as a very powerful analgesic. If we tell the person the water is warm or tell them that their arm is anaesthetized, they put it in the ice water and they don't feel the pain anymore.
And importantly, you couldn't do this just by sort of playing along.
It'd be pretty tough to do that.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, let's welcome our two strapping volunteers. We have Chris and Alex, everybody. With the water temperature approaching freezing levels, Alex and Chris can only keep their arms in the ice bath for just under 7 seconds. Both out about the same time?
About there, yeah.
What's it like?
Horrendous.
It is very cold, isn't it? Good. Sleep, and stand and sleep, sleep. This should change once the hypnotic suggestion is planted. Completely comfortable. You have to lower your arm in. Hold it there as long as you like. You simply will not experience any sensation of cold. It'll be completely comfortable, feeling just a lukewarm room temperature sensation. Open your eyes, be wide awake. So just slowly, you can both of you just lower your hand in. It's a very different feeling now, isn't it? It's like you're pushing past the other sort of plastic ice cubes that you can get. Now, what's it like now? How would you describe it, Alex?
It's like the water's not there, it's just body temperature.
Yeah? What's it like for you, Chris?
Yeah, it's fine.
Pre-hypnosis, Alex and Chris couldn't keep their hands in for more than a few seconds. This time, they stay in for 2 minutes. So when I touch the side of the bath, when I grab that, the suggestion will clear. Look. Now what's it like?
Oh, it's horrendous, horrible.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why I've done that, to be honest.
So, no, but the moment you're... But look, I'm holding this here, and at the moment you're feeling pain, right? You are feeling pain in that arm,
yeah,
yes? But now look, if I let go... Quite calm.
The warm sensation returns.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's gone back to being warm.
The thermal image camera clearly shows the effect of the icy water on the two men. The dark areas on their arms indicate the temperature has dropped dramatically, while the rest of their bodies register normal heat. Right, thank you. Alex, I'm going to ask you just to pop back in your seat there for a second. Chris, I'm going to keep you up here for a little longer. Throughout the evening, I've been assessing both candidates, and I've come to the conclusion that Chris is my perfect subject. There's something of a blank slate about him, which suggests a heightened responsiveness to suggestion. Now I need to confirm that he's in the top 1% of subjects, which is what the experiment requires. Look at me, and sleep, sleep, just stand and sleep quite comfortably, that's good. And again, you see, it's not just about your hands and forearms, this is your entire body. The brain controls the entire body. With the water temperature plunging further, I'm going to test Chris's hypnotic responses in a way that has never been done before. I'm going to get him to immerse his whole body in the ice bath. After only 15 minutes in water this cold, Chris's vital organs will start to shut down. After 30 minutes, he could die. But if through hypnosis Chris is able to create the false reality that the water feels warm, he won't feel the pain and will be able to stay immersed in the ice-cold water. So your heart rate at the moment is about 136 BPM. Is that normal?
When he first gets in, there's a shock of getting in and it would go spike, and then as he sat there it would gradually slow down until he dies.
Excellent. To ensure his safety, a team of paramedics is standing by. So just slowly, take all the time, just so it's nice and comfy, just pop yourself down. And control the breathing, just breathe in and out and just take your time.